Mm. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So, in the last lecture, we studied about the action potential in the cardiac muscle. So, today I will tell you about the how the impulse in the heart is generated in the SA node and how it is propagated throughout the cardiac muscle. So, you know that I've already told you that one of the most important property of heart is that it is a property of automaticity, that it can automatically generate its own impulse. It is not dependent upon any nerve supply. The sympathetic and the parasympathetic nerve just can alter the activity of the heart, but the normal activity, the normal function of the heart is the electrical impulse is generated itself by the heart muscle in the SA node. So I've told you that in the heart there are two types of muscles: the contractile muscle, which are responsible for the contraction of the cardiac muscle, and the second is the special IP type of cell, which are responsible for the transmission of nerve impulse throughout the cardiac muscle. So the green area, the green is like the wiring in the heart muscle. This is the conducting pathway whose property does not have a very strong contractile property. It can only transmit the nerve impulse in the cardiac muscle, and the number of gap junction present in this is variable depending upon the different condition, different areas. Now there are different relay stations starting from the SA node, which is the pacemaker of the heart, from which the nerve impulse in the heart is generated. This is the SA node, also the sinoatrial node. The second relay station is the AV node, and which also called the atrioventricular node. And the SA node is connected to the AV node by three pathways: by the internodal pathway, and there are also a pathway which transmit the impulses from the SA node into the two atria, which are called the interatrial pathway. So in the interatrial pathway responsible for conduction of nerve impulse from the SA node into the atria, and the internodal pathway are responsible for transmitting the nerve impulse from the SA node to the AV node. After AV node, there is a small area which is called the AV bundle. AV bundle is again the is having the a penetrating part which penetrates the fibrous ring between the two atria and the two ventricles. So this is the only connection. The AV bundle is the only connection between the atria and the ventricle, because I told you that the two atria are separated from the ventricles by a fibrous ring, so it provides insulation. So only one route through which the impulse from the atria into the ventricle can pass through AV bundle. Now AB bundle is again made up of Purkinje cells, which is fast conducting fibers, and then after entering into the ventricles, into the septum between the two ventricles, the interventricular septum, it divides into two branches, which is called the right and the left bundle branches, again which are made up of Purkinje fibers, and they run along the course of the interventricular septum, and they move first to the apex of the heart, and then after supplying the apex, it moves back towards the base of the heart on both sides supplying the thick ventricular muscles, so that the impulse can reach all the all throughout the depth of the ventricular muscle. So the first originating part is the SA node, then is the AV node connecting by the internodal pathway, then we have AV bundle. The AV bundle is divided into right and left bundle branches which move along their respective ventricles. So these are the different the pathway of the nerve impulse throughout the cardiac muscle. Now the essay, first of all, we discuss about the sinoatrial node, which is a small flattened ellipsoid strip of specialized cardiac muscle, 3 millimeter wide, 15 millimeter long, and 1 millimeter thick, located in the superior lateral wall of the right atrium below and lateral to the opening of the superior vena cava. If you take a cut section of the heart and you feel the right atrium just behind the opening of the superior vena cava, you feel a small nodular structure. which is actually the sinoatrial node. So the cells are connected in here. The cells are connected through the gap junction, and this whole pathway are connected by specialized T cells called the pacemaker of the heart. Now we come to the action potential in the SA node. Now the action potential in the SA node is called the pacemaker potential. So whenever you are asked in the paper about the pacemaker potential, it means that you have to tell about the action potential in the SA node. And one thing, there is no resting membrane potential in the case of SA node, because whenever it touches the resting membrane potential, the leakiness of certain ion will again drift back towards the threshold and will generate an action potential. So there is actually no resting potential. So this action potential in the SA node is also called the pacemaker potential. Why pacemaker potential? Because it is self-generating. Whenever it reaches certain voltage, it will be again generated, and the action potential will be generated, will reaches the threshold and will generate causes depolarization. Now, cardiac autorhythmicity cells do not have resting membrane potential. Membrane potential slowly depolarize to threshold and action potential is initiated. Now, here in this case, one point to remember is that its resting membrane potential is not minus 90. It is about minus 60 or minus 55. The resting point, although it is no straight line in case of SA node, but the lowest potential which can be achieved here is either minus 55 or minus 60. Now, what is the reason of that? Why the voltage here is not minus 90 and it is minus 50? The reason is that in this case, normally in the skeletal muscle, nerve muscle, the resting state, I've told you that in the resting membrane potential in skeletal muscle, it is because of the leak potassium channels. In this case, and there was no role of sodium leak channels in the case of skeletal muscle. But here, the membrane of the cardiac muscle, it is permeable. It is permeable to a sodium leak channel. So because of the opening of the sodium leak channel and the sodium calcium leak channels, their potential rises from minus 90 to minus 55 or minus 60. And at this level they will be, and the second thing which is different from the action potential the skeletal muscle is that there is no fast voltage gated sodium channels in case of SNO, in contrast to this action potential in the skeletal muscle or the myocardial cells of the heart, ventricular muscle, there is no role of fast sodium voltage gated channels. Here, from minus 55 to minus 40, it is the slow calcium channels or the transient calcium channels. The transient calcium channels which brings the threshold from the voltage from minus 60 to minus 40, which is the threshold potential. I mean, potential. Now, at this stage, the long-lasting calcium channels will open, and they are not very fast to open, and they are slow, long-lasting channels, and they will bring the voltage from minus 40 to 0. Now the question arises, why does not the fast sodium channels they open here? It is because that at this voltage, the inactivation gate of the fast sodium channels will remain closed at voltage minus 40, because usually that inactivation gate of sodium channels they open at minus 70 in that case. But since the voltage does not achieve that level, it is at the level of minus 40, the inactivation gate remain closed, and it is the slow long lasting calcium channels which causes depolarization, slow depolarization of the SA node and bring the voltage to 0. Now at this case, the calcium long lasting calcium channels will close because it remain open only for about 100 to 200 milliseconds. After that, it will automatically will close, and when they closes, it causes opening of the potassium voltage gated channels, and there will be efflux of the of the potassium ion. Here there will be influx of the calcium ion, and now because in the repolarization phase the calcium long-lasting calcium channels will close, and there will be opening of the voltage-gated potassium channels, and there will be efflux of the potassium ion that bring the voltage, that causes repolarization and bring the voltage back to -60. But as soon as it reaches -60, again the role of sodium leach channels and the calcium channels will again will overdriven, and will predominate and will again drift the voltage back to -40. And again the depolarization, the long lasting calcium channels will open, and here it will close, and potassium channel will bring it here. But again it reaches -60, again the sodium calcium channels will dominate the potassium channels, and they will drift back the voltage to 60. So it is the drift and fire. This phase is called the drift and fire, which causes depolarization again, and automatically depolarizes the acid node. So we have the initial phase of slow depolarization, then we have this depolarization, and this is threshold. This is the rising phase of action potential depolarization. This is the repolarization. So this is also called the pre-potential phase. This is also called the pre-potential phase. Okay, I hope you will have understood. So this is again showing the initiation of the cardiac impulse, and the SN node also called the pre-potential, which is also called the pacemaker potential. So, and the comparison of the pacemaker potential with that of the action potential with the heart muscle, after the action potential pacemaker potential generating SN node, that causes the depolarization of the cardiac muscle. So the pacemaker potential is followed by the depolarization of the action potential of the cardiac muscle, and is also showing the role of different ions. Here it is leak channel. Basically the sodium leak channel have a role from bringing the potential from -90 to -60. Here is the role of a transient calcium channel. This is not mentioned in Guyton. This is mentioned in Ganong, that the role of transient calcium channels in the pre-potential phase, and the role of long-lasting calcium channels in the case of depolarization. So the leak channels will bring the voltage from -90 to -55. It is the transient calcium channel in the pre-potential phase or the drift phase, and then the role of long-lasting or slow calcium channels in the case of this depolarization, and then repolarization by the efflux of the potassium ion. So we have no resting potential in case of SA node. Now, once the cardiac impulse has been generated into the SA node, how it is propagated throughout the cardiac muscle. I've already told you the different relay station from the SA node to the AV node, then AV bundle, and then through bundle branches for Purkinje fibers to the whole muscle fiber. So we have two tough pathway. The interatrial pathway, which conveys the impulse from the SA node to the two atrium within the right to the from the right atrium then to the left atrium. It is responsible for the spread of the impulse, cardiac impulse from the SA node to the right atrium and the left atrium, and comprise of small bundles of atrial fiber. Largest is interatrial band. A velocity of conduction is 1 meters per second. The velocity of conduction in the interatrial pathway is 1 meters per second. The second is the internodal pathway between the SA node to the AV node, so that the impulse can enter into the ventricles. Now it extends from the SA node to the AV node, contain Purkinje type fibers. No Purkinje fibers, it is Purkinje like fibers connected to AV node through very small transitional fibers. Now this internodal pathway has 3 bands of atrial fibers. The anterior one is called the tract of Beckman. The middle internodal pathway, this one is called the Wenckebach, and the posterior one is called, I think this is the posterior one, is called the thoral. So Beckman anterior band, the middle one is called Wenckebach, and the posterior one is called the thoral. So through these 3 bands, the impulse reaches the AV node. Now, when the impulse reaches the AV node, which is located now, AV node again is a relay station, and sometimes it is located in the posterior septal wall of right atrium, posterior septal wall of the right atrium beneath endocardium, the only point of electrical contact between the atria and the ventricle. So this is the point only through which the impulse can enter into the ventricles. Now it has a very slow conduction velocity, negligible, almost zero way conduction velocity connected to the bundle of hairs through penetrating part of the AV bundle. So why the conduction velocity of almost zero? It's so slow. It is so slow that it cannot be recorded by any voltmeter. So it is assumed that the conduction velocity is almost zero because it has a very few gap junctions. Now the from the AV node, the AV enters into the AV bundle. AV bundle has a penetrating part and comprises of Purkinje fiber even larger than ventricular fiber. These are Purkinje fibers. They are very fast conducting fibers. The connecting penetrating push of the AV bundle connect through, and they have why they have conduction velocity very fast, because they have a numerous gap junction. Now, so we have AV node, then AV bundle. AV bundle may we have a penetrating part, which is actually penetrating the fibrous ring, which is an insulation between the two atria and the two ventricles. And after penetrating that fibrous ring, that AV bundle will be divided into two right and left bundle branches, which is again made up of fast conducting Purkinje fibers whose conduction velocity about 15 to 1.5 to 4 meters per second. Now, distal portion of AV bundle divides into right and bundle branches located beneath endocardium. So these are present beneath the endocardium, progressively divide into smaller branches. Now, the from the transmission through atriointernodal pathway, the conduction velocity is about 0.3 second. Between the SA node and the AV node, the conduction velocity was 0.3 second. So the impulse will reach from SA node to AV node in 0.03 second. The time is 0.03 second and the conduction velocity is 0.3 second. Conduction velocity जो होगी वो 0.3 second होगी, but in how much time it actually reaches? In 0.03 seconds. It reaches the AV node. This is the AV node. Now in the AV node, there is a delay. The impulse will, I told you that AV node, since they are the conduction velocity are very almost zero because of the very few gap junction. So here there will be a delay in the transmission of about 0.09 seconds. Now delay in the AV node is 0.09 second. Then the impulse passes to the AV bundle. Now in the AV bundle, it takes another 0.04 second. So from SA node to AV node 0.03 second, delay of 0.09 second, and 0.04 second in the AV bundle. So total it takes about 0.16 seconds to to enter into the ventricles. Again repeat, 0.03 seconds for the impulse to reach from SN node to the AV node. There's a delay of 0.09 seconds. Then it takes about another 0.04 seconds in the penetrating part of the AV bundle. So it takes total about 0.16 seconds for the impulse to enter from the atria into the ventricles. So impulse will enter into the ventricles after 0.16 seconds. Now once it enters into 0.6 seconds, it will travel along its own path, the right and left bundle branches, and it reaches first it reaches the apex, then go back to the base. It takes about another 0.13 seconds. Now from the from from the endocardium, since these Purkinje fibers are present in the endocardium, from the endocardium to the epicardium, it takes another 0.03 seconds. From the AV bundle, and here 0.03 second apex and base, and 0.03 second, and another 0.03 second to move from endocardium into the epicardium, 0.03 second in the left ventricle, and 0.02 seconds in the right ventricle, because the thickness of the right ventricle is more as compared to right ventricle. So 0.16 seconds to enter into the ventricles, 0.03 second means 0.19 seconds to reach endocardium. Another 0.03 second means 0.22 seconds to complete the whole pathway in left ventricle, and 0.23 in the case of left ventricle. I hope you understand. I will again repeat: 0.03 second from SA node to AV node, 0.09 seconds in AV nodal delay, 0.04 second in AV bundle, so total of 0.16. Then 0.03 second in the right bundle or left bundle branches to reach first apex and then to reach the base to, and then another 0.03 seconds in case of left ventricle, and 0.02 seconds from the endocardium to the epicardium. So total 0.22 seconds in right ventricle and 0.23, I think 0.22 or 0.1 seconds difference in the right ventricle. So why is the reason of AV? Now this is important to remember. Why AV nodal delay? AV nodal delay is the delay of when the impulse relay stop and delay is a delay of 0.09 seconds in AV node, and it is because of the very few gap junction, and the basically the reason of AV nodal delay is to ensure to, because the atria is a primer pump, so that the atria can contract ahead of ventricles, and the ventricles take more time to fill in with the blood. Ventricles have more time to get filled with the blood. So in the significance of AV nodal delay is that it takes more time for the impulse to enter from the atria into the ventricle. I've told you the atria is a atrial syncytium, there is a ventricle syncytium. Atria contracts as a whole at one time, and it gives more time for the ventricles to get filled with the blood ahead of time. So this is the significance of AV nodal delay. Now the transmission of impulse, and I've already told you in the Purkinje fibers, the conduction velocity 1.5 to 4 meter per second. This is the largest and fastest conduction, have the fastest conduction velocity with due to presence of gap junctions. Okay. From endocardial surface to epicardial surface, 0.03 seconds. Now the sequence of depolarization begins at left side of interventricular septum, move from first to right across mid septum, apex of the heart, side walls of both ventricles, endocardium to epicardial surface, posterobasal part of both ventricles, pulmonary conus, and upper portion pore of the septum. So this is how the impulse is transmitted from originating in case of ventricles. First is in the interventricular septum, first move to right side and then to the left side, then to the apex of the heart, then to the base of the heart, from the endocardium to epicardium, and the last part to depolarize is the posterobasal part of both ventricles, pulmonary conus, and uppermost portion of the septum is the last part to depolarize in the ventricles or in the heart. Now, as you know that the heart contracts at a rate of usually the normal heart rate is 70 to 80 beats per minute. It means per minute the SA node generate the impulse at a rate of 70 to 80 per times per minute. So this is the rate at which the SA node will be self excited. Now the AV node and bundle of his may be the pacemaker of the heart. If they are the pacemaker of the heart, they will conduct the impulse at a rate of 40 to 60 per minute, and bundle of his will generate an impulse at a rate of 50 to 40 per minute. But the reason is, but normally in the normal condition, the SA node will take over the situation, and it will generate the impulse before the AV node or the mandala it can generate. So all in normal condition, it is the SA node which is the pacemaker of the heart, which generate an impulse at a rate of 70 to 80 beats per minute. But in some cases and abnormal conditions, sometimes there is a AV block. There is a block of conduction between the level of AV node that prevent the transmission of impulse from the atria into the ventricles. In that case, the SA node will keep on generating an impulse, but that impulse will not reach the ventricles, and after some time the ventricles, when the impulse does not reach the ventricles, the ventricle, the bundle of his will generate its own impulse, and it will generate at a rate of 15 to 40 beats per hour. But there is a delay of 15 to 20 seconds, and the blood will not, during that time, usually when the impulse has not been generated, there's a less supply of blood to the brain, and the patient may faint. and that is called the Stokes-Haden syndrome. We will discuss it in detail afterwards. So, usually the pacemaker of the heart is SA node, which generate the impulse at a rate of 70 to 80 beats per minute. But they may be the pacemaker of heart. AV node and bundle of His can be the pacemaker of heart, but since the capability to generate the impulse is slower as compared to SA node, usually the SA node will predominate and will generate impulse. But sometimes they may generate impulse in which either there is a AV block or the disease condition in which the SO node is not capable of generating the impulse. Only in that condition, the AV node or the bundle of it may generate the impulse and keep the heart in a contracted state. But in that condition, since the ventricles, it takes some time to judge that the impulse has not reached it to generate its own impulse. It takes some time, and during that time, the blood may not reach the brain, and the person may faint. And that condition is called the Stokes-Haden syndrome. I will discuss it later on. Don't worry about it. If you don't understand, we will discuss it later on. And the cardiac impulse, which is actually the action potential generating the cardiac pacemaker, it is transmitted to the rest of the heart. So this is again the repetition, SA node to AV node 0.03 second, within AV node 0.09 second, penetrating part 0.04 second, in the bundle branches 0.03 second, and from the endocardium to epicardium 0.03 seconds. So total of about 0.22 seconds in case of left ventricle and 0.21 seconds in case of right ventricle to complete its own circuit. So this is how यहाँ पे this is interatrial pathway, internodal pathway. यहाँ पे आएगा, यहाँ से transmit होगा, apex पे आएगा, base पे जाएगा, pulmonary septum, और यहाँ पे septum is the last part to be impulse. Again, showing the same in different way. Impulse generated from here. First, it depolarize the atria, then it reaches the to both the atrias and depolarize, and then it reaches the ventricle. When it reaches the ventricle, it is the interventricular septum, and then it through the septum it depolarizes the whole heart. Same. Now, special features of the conducting system is that the SA node is self-excitatory. Excitation not dependent on external stimulus. It can altered by the sympathetic and parasympathetic, but it is self-excitatory. Different rate of discharge of different autorhythmicity. I told you that SA node 70 to 80 beats per minute, AV node that is 40 to 60 and 15 to 40 Purkinje fibers. Autorhythmic cells interconnected to gap junction. SA node is the fastest in impulse generation, the pacemaker of the heart. Now, AV nodal delay makes the atria to contract earlier than ventricles and make atria to act as a primer valve. You have to measure. Sometimes the short note comes on AV nodal delay. You have to explain it properly that since atria is a primer pump and ventricles have to contract later on, so it gives the time for the ventricles to get itself filled with the blood. So atria contract earlier than the ventricles, and because of the less gap junctions, and there's a delay of 0.09 seconds. Now, it makes all the portion of the ventricles to contract simultaneously for effective pressure generation. So since the Purkinje fibers, they are very fast conduction fibers, they make the ventricles syncytium. They enables the heart to act as a syncytium, ventricles become a syncytium, so that the ventricle become a strong pump because it has to pump the blood against a very high pressure in the vessels. Now, one thing more, that through the AV node, impulse is transmitted from the atria into the ventricles, and it ensures one-way conduction of the impulse. The impulse cannot be generated back from the ventricles into the. If it does happen, it is an abnormal condition. So it prevents re-entry of the impulse from the ventricle back into the atria. So this is all for today. I hope you will understand, and if you find any difficulty, please you may share in the group. Thank you, and keep praying for all of us, and take good care of your parents and your family members. Thank you.